We just want to say a huge thank you for your participation. We absolutely love to see you get involved. So, the only things left to do now are to sit back, relax, have you got your munchies? And enjoy the show.
Hey everybody, welcome to Geeksvana Live and this slightly unusual special edition where we're joined by this man, Ken Heron. Hi Ken, how are you, sir?
Hey, how are you? I can see right up your shirt.
I know, right? Oh, sorry, I pulled my bottom of my shirt down. Sorry,
you gotta have that mole looked at.
Yeah, well, you know, I've tried.
By the way, you need to put a warning on your countdown screen because I was starting to get a seizure from all the
from all the flashy, glitchy things.
Dip. Yeah.
Perhaps we should have flashing strobes approaching. Thank you very much. So tonight we're going to be talking all about the DJI FPV drone. We're going to be talking about a few of the leaks that have already, a chunk of this information is already out there, like the unboxing video, photos, that type of thing. We're also going to have a look back at some of the earlier leaks and see how accurate they panned out to be, which I think would be quite an interesting thing to do. We do have one or two things which are... I doubt you will have seen anywhere else. Although, of course, this thing is so heavily leaked. There's always a chance of it. There's always a chance.
DJI doesn't need to pay for marketing.
It's crazy, isn't it?
It's take a tight close-up shot of a screw or nut or a prop, and then just let the internet do the rest.
Yeah, and they'll just have their people at Best Buy put a couple of drones out on the shelf. And then everyone
by accident.
Yeah. Oops. But I'm not entirely sure. Now, Ken, you have actually flown this drone.
I have, but more importantly, Teddy Wild Viking wants to know why I'm not in focus.
Oh. Does he mean that you're just not focused, or your camera's not in focus?
Squirrel. I'm not very focused. Now, why? It does look like I'm not in focus.
It does look like that, doesn't it, a little bit? I don't know why, because you're coming through beautifully.
Or maybe it's just because I have such soft, gorgeous features. And when you look at me, you can't see past my beauty.
Sorry, I should have given you a bit of Ken focus there. So, yeah,
what was the
for
question?
The focus. You have flown the DJI drone, which we're going to talk a bit about this evening. What was your overall sort of out of 10 score as a camera drone guy that has recently flipped across into FPV flying? What's your sort of general overall impression of the new flyer?
Well, in the 5 minutes that I had to fly it, when I flew it, it was bitter cold,
Ooh.
like so cold that you didn't want to be outside of a car, and it was windy. And so when I flew it, I almost crashed it, but luckily it has this thing on there. It's not very, it's not the kind of FPV that actual FPV are used to.
Yes.
Or the rates just weren't set right. And I think there's a way to set the rates. If you're an FPV guy, you know that these kind of things normally get done in beta flight. And apparently you can't beta flight this.
That would make sense, wouldn't it? Because DJI are very proprietary over everything they do. So to let any other system work with it would mean they'd have to share coding and that type of thing. So I suppose I could see
beta flight is pretty open source.
Yeah.
But, just like their air units, you can adjust the PIDs and everything in the goggles. So I think DJI wants to keep you in their DJI world.
Yeah, their ecosystem, which I think I can understand that. Well, we'll chat more about actually flying the thing in a little bit.
Okay. Well, I don't want it to sound like I hated it.
Oh no. Yeah.
The person that I was with when I was watching them fly it was amazing. It's so fast.
So the person you're with that obviously had more practice, so therefore they were a bit more sort of.
If I had more than 5 minutes, I'm sure I would have gotten the
and there's always the factor as well that it's their drone, that it's been sent to them. So if they, dear DJI, I crashed the drone. Regards, ex DJI affiliate.
Right.
It's a lot easier, isn't it, than them going home and you texting them saying I'm sorry for crashing your drone. Have a good launch day.
Yeah. Now I do know that another person flew this same drone of this other person.
Yes.
So ambiguous. I don't want to violate an NDA that I don't have.
Yes.
I don't want to violate the trust that this person put in me.
Absolutely.
With me. So, but the another person did crash it.
Oh, did they?
Yes.
Badly?
Um.
Is it flyable still? Because you see
Yeah,
that's actually
because
that's a subject and a whole question of itself that people are very interested about whether you feel like you could crash this thing, and it doesn't look like a self repairer. Would you agree with that? It looks like a care refresh jobby if you do nut it into a tree.
Now, of course, they include extra props. If you're an FPV guy, you know you carry bags of extra propellers with you, and I think they only give you 1 or 2 extra sets. Hoping that that's the first thing to go. But just, do you have a picture of the quad that you can share really quick?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
There you go, sir.
The thing that I think that will go first is the camera.
Yes.
When you crash, it's not going to always land on its feet there. I think, that camera that you're looking at there, that's a 1-axis gimbal.
Indeed. And it's very exposed, isn't it?
It is. It did feel, I can tell you, it did feel a lot sturdier than I thought that it would.
Okay. It to me, it's always looked quite big in the photos, but then when I've seen it in people's hands, it looks a lot smaller than I was expecting.
Yeah.
Because it weighs around 750-ish grams, 750, 760 grams. So it's not heavy, which I think is
like, it looks like the Inspire 2 might have had a baby by its cousin.
Yeah, well, one of the original leak pictures.
Malformed mini me. Somebody put it in the dryer.
That's
long and it shrunk.
I love this picture. I think this picture is so cool. When this came out, I was like, is this the Inspire 3 from very far away, or is it a zoom in of the FPV? And it was
asking what the price is. I can tell you that I've been told many times it's and it could be more or less, but this is what I've been told by people in the know.
Ooh.
That it's going to be $12.99 US.
There you go.
Would you pay that for that?
Yesterday.
I know I would too.
My only issue, and one of the questions I actually did want to ask you, which I know you only got a very limited amount of time with the drone, but as a camera drone flyer myself, I'm not that keen to start putting goggles on. And to go into the whole goggle sphere. I'll play with it, but I'll feel like I should have a spotter with me and that type of thing.
Do you have goggles?
No, I've never flown a drone with goggles.
I gotta hang up. You are not a drone person. See you later. Bye.
Okay, bye.
That's crazy.
Okay, Ken's left.
You have to.
I know, but it's the.
Oh my god,
dude! I am a rabbit hole kind of person. If I start down the rabbit hole of FPV, I will never be seen by my friends and family again.
Am I on a drone channel?
I don't
Is this a drone channel?
Yes, it's a camera drone channel. Mainly, I do speak to FPV people, so I look cool. But
go ahead, man. Put that FPV in your arm, man. All the cool kids are doing it.
So is this? Are we saying that this drone is basically going to be my gateway drug into the FPV world?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and that is really what this is being marketed as.
Yeah.
It's being
it makes sense,
as,
doesn't it?
FPV with a safety net.
Yeah.
If you're wondering why it looks the way it does because it has technology in it that when you're flying DJI's own flavor of acro, and you're and you get into trouble, and you're tumbling. Here, put it back on me so I can visually demonstrate. When you're tumbling in the air and you're like, oh crap, I don't know what I'm doing, flip the switch, and
excellent.
It's a virtual safety net. You're like, okay, you can't do that with actual FPV. You just have to crash and rebuild and break stuff. And
did you or the person you were flying with test the DJI recovery system? Did you see it being tested at any kind of did you see him banking it and then press the button?
Oh, no, I did that because I didn't know how the hell to fly it.
Oh, okay. So you sort of panicked and said, button.
When you start flying this, it takes off like a Mavic or anything else. And it acts like a camera, but a GPS stabilized drone. Then you have to do this thing. And it visualizes it in the goggles. You have to take your sticks and line them up, it takes longer to get into acro mode, acro FPV mode, than it is just to come out and fix it, which is
Yes.
smart.
Yeah, no, indeed. I think that is clever.
But I don't know. This is a question I'd like answered. I don't know if you can take off in FPV mode. I think you have to fly first, hover.
I think you do. Yes, that's what I've been told. Yes, that's what I've been told, that the drone has to do its very normal DJI's type safety things as it takes off and record its return to home point and all that. You can't just literally straight off and fly off, which that was my highly accurate FPV sound effect, by the way.
Yes, and Max Air 420 said yes, it's called horizon mode. Yeah, you can take a regular FPV quad and turn it into a GPS stabilized. You can put GPS on it. You can fly it in horizon mode, whatever you want.
No, indeed. And hi, Max. Good to see you, sir. Thank you for coming in.
What I'm mostly afraid of with this quad is that people have been seeing all the cool shots that you can get with FPV. There's two schools. There's free what is it called? Freestyle. Sorry.
Yes, freestyle. Yeah.
You can freestyle where it's just the camera's fixed and the world is flipping, and that makes some people ill. But you can, you can put a GPS on there and a stabilized a camera with a electronic stabilization and get these really cool cinematic.
Yeah.
Where you can go through stuff and around and fast and speed up when you want.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to it from the point of view of being able to get those kind of cinematic shots. Because if I ever did really go down the route of FPV, it would be to do one of the cinematic style FPV drones, rather than the races or the the full acro stunts.
That's what I said. That's what I said.
I know, it's exactly what you said, isn't it?
I just want to get this and that, and then pretty soon I'm like dive bombing buildings. Yeah,
yeah. And pretty soon you're putting out videos like the one you did the other day at the hospital, which was a really good indication of how far your skills and your bravery has come. Well, not bravery, actually. You've always been a brave guy that will crash things and break things, but it's coming along nicely.
I have a quad that it's almost pristine, and it really, if you're fly FPV and you're any good at it, you'll have just these ratty, beat up. That's another hurdle that you have to get over if you're going to fly FPV is the quads you fly are going to get beat up and scuffed and dirty and you come from the world where like I don't want anything touching my Phantom. If you bump into a tree, you get a scuff on it, you're like, I polish that,
Bump into a tree? Are you crazy? With my camera drone? Never. I don't go that close to trees to bump into them.
But when you're flying your Mavic or your Mini or your Phantom, and you see, I'll go under a bridge, right? You go through the bridge, you get that satisfaction of going under a bridge.
You do.
Go through a hole, a tunnel, something. And you're like, that's the same kind of thrill, only multiplied by 1,000.
80 miles an hour. Yeah.
And again, with this quad, I don't know about the FPV community is big on fixing stuff themselves. That's part of the love, is building, and you get the confidence to do all these crazy stunts knowing that you can replace a motor right there on location.
Yeah, exactly.
People carry a soldering gun in their packs. I'll just replace it. You fly for a minute, I'll replace a motor or ESC or something. I don't know that that's going to be the case. And what happens if this DJI FPV quad goes in water? Is it done? Because if you fly your quad, even if it's not coated, the board with a thing that you can coat to make it waterproof, with a regular FPV quad, you can put it on a fan overnight, and more often than not, it'll be fine. But this thing gets into water. Yeah,
it doesn't look very waterproof, does it?
Yeah. Oh, Smeghead says solder has an L in it. Well, for you, yeah, it does.
Don't start that. Do not start that. Do not start that. I cannot get through a single conversation with Ken without him saying, you just said that in the past tense, or you said garage.
Garage.
Garage?
Yeah. All right, I have something for you. Let's just step aside one moment.
Oh.
Okay. How would you say this word?
I would actually say patents because I work in the US field more, but I know you want me to say patent.
Okay. No,
Which is the English way of saying it.
Say patent. I've heard English people
Yeah,
say
patent.
That,
yeah,
right.
Yeah.
And then, but is that any different than this word?
Patent.
Patent and patent. It's the same word in England, is it not?
It is.
Just something I noticed.
Yeah, indeed. But hey, it's our language, so I'm thinking if anybody gets it right or wrong, it might be the people that actually created the language.
Yeah, but you drive on the wrong side of the road. But we won't go there. We took your language and improved it.
I was impressing Ken pre-show with our MOT vehicle checks here in the UK.
Don't even start.
And he was amazed to know that we actually check that our headlights are in the right pattern on a wall. There's little lines that you can't go above with your headlights when they're on dipped beam and that sort of thing. And
I remember getting my vehicle inspected once, and the guy's like, "Turn on your lights." Yeah, you only got one. Oh, that's all right.
That'll do.
I don't care. And then Sean tells me that you can get a fine if you run out of gas in France.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. Woo! Okay. Now, next up, we have a video which has been doing the rounds. Another one of these videos. It's not the unboxing one, which we will show a bit of in a few minutes' time. But this is actually of someone who posted it claiming to be flying the actual drone. Now, this is an interesting one because a lot of people, of course, have said there's no way that this is real because it's the wrong app. This is wrong. There's no telemetry, X, Y, Z. But somebody else who has flown this drone has told me that this is the same thing that they saw when they flew the drone. Would you care to comment on that?
I would agree. That looks like it.
Because the app that they're using isn't the final app, of course, at the moment, is it? Because this is something very different that the drone is going to be using. So of course they've had to use a bastardization of the app. But it's interesting seeing it actually. It does come in a void. One of the things that I felt like it was suspicious was the fact that there's actually noise from the drone, rather than just the usual DJI silent camera. If that makes sense, you can actually hear the props and it sounds very FPV-ish. As well.
Yes, no, that's actually a good thing. FPV pilots very often will use the sound of the motors.
Yeah.
Through there on regular FPV quads, you can put a mic on there, and some control boards have a built-in microphone where you can direct that sound in through your goggles and then into your earpiece. Mr. Steele does this so that he can get immediate feedback from the motors.
What's happening?
Hearing
makes total sense. Makes total sense.
100 yards away, then you get that delay and you don't know what you're doing unless you can actually see it. So this is a smart thing for DJI to include if it's in there.
Yeah, exactly.
So they've listened to FPV pilots.
No, indeed, and because to me as well, the source of this, Alex Oshel production, and the other chap that he credited as well in his YouTube and Instagram posts, they are very, very skillful FPV pilots, and they are and cinematographers. They are more than capable of making that. I'm not saying they have. I'm sure they uploaded this in good faith, but they are more than capable. If they wanted to have a little joke with the community, they're more than capable. But I have had from at least one other person that is exactly the view that they got when they were flying it from the app perspective.
Speaking of the app, there's been links to links where you can download the app. We've included them here in the description. If you care to try to download them, I wasn't able to do it. Sean wasn't able to do it. You have to enter your username, your DJI credentials. And right now, they've only allowed people who have had early testing of this.
Yes, I've just put the two links into the chat for the Android and the Apple version. Interestingly, as you can see on screen here, when you go into the iOS version, it does confirm that it is the Flash iOS. which of course Flash being the code name and product name of the drone itself, that DJI have been using, which obviously gives you a QR code to download the application. But again, as with the Android one, when you actually try to download it, it doesn't work. But it'll be interesting, those of you who are diligent out there, who can keep hitting those links to see when something starts to work.
And again, I don't have early access to this because DJI snubbed me. They snubbed me. I'm not butthurt about it or anything. I'm not upset. Clearly, I'm good with it. I'm fine. I'm okay. I'm not harping on it.
It's clearly because 51 Drones overtook you.
Did he?
Clearly. Didn't he? I thought you said he had. I'm not sure.
I think he was about to.
I'm not sure he did, actually.
I'm not worried about that.
But that's it. But that's why DJI are saying, okay, we were going to send Ken Heron one, but 130 something thousand subscribers isn't enough on a channel specifically focused on camera drones and FPV, the two markets we're trying to hit with this drone.
Or someone at DJI said, Ken Heron tends to tell the truth about his reviews on quads. Maybe we should hold back on that. Did you see the one where he smashed it to pieces because he didn't like it?
That might actually be it. Yeah, that might actually be it, to be fair.
Okay. Thank you, Airless Man. Yeah, 51 drones. Congrats. I knew he'd surpass my sub count. Congrats, man.
Yeah, it's good to see. It's a great channel. Two very different. We've got those 3 channels now with Ready Set Drone, 51 Drones, and yours that offer very different things in the drone sphere.
You know what it is? I think I'd have more subs if I took time to clean up my background.
Do you think that's what it is?
Yeah, it's just I just leave it at this. This is a working set. This is not a set.
I actually messed mine up a little bit before I came on so that I could fit in more. I normally have it a little bit. I've got a gimbal here and like an Xbox light just thrown in the background. You're
futuristic. You got that RGB lighting and the neon and everything.
They're actually garden lights.
A 70s porn set happening back here with the paneling.
These are actually
shoes on, honey.
These are actually garden floodlights because they spread the light better than the RGB YouTubery lights type thing.
So you've given it more thought than I did.
Well, yeah, I mean, a young up and coming channel. Not that I'm young, but my channel is. You have to try and think out of the box sometimes. And talking about thinking out of the box, let's have a very quick flick through and have a very quick look at this this very interesting one here from Dominion Drones. It's interesting to see a dealer doing an unboxing here, isn't it? of a drone which is quite clearly marked as not for resale.
Who did this?
It was tagged. It was titled as, and I can actually hide my camera, and it will show you that Dominion Drones was the tag. Who are a DJI dealer. But again, we've reached out to them for official word, and the official word is.
The official word is.
Yeah. Thank you. I don't have that sound effect.
All right. So have you seen a video where they're actually flying it yet?
No, the only one because the only one I have is of the one I showed before from within the app. As far as I'm aware, most of the dealers have stock have the same issue that the app won't load for them. I do actually know of dealers that have gained access to the links that you're talking about. They've attempted to log in and that type of thing, but it hasn't worked.
Well, this is like that guy that bought the Mini 2 by accident.
Yes,
and he couldn't fly it because he didn't have the app. Exactly.
But you also but you can't really say here that DJI can't claim this was a Best Buy error, though, can they really? Because this thing is one of their actual things. So it's a nice little package.
It is, and it's small. When you hold it in your hands, it's a lot smaller than you think it looks. And just pictures where it's by itself, and you can't tell scale. But next to the goggles, and you know what size the goggles are. Those are the V2 goggles.
I feel like I need to say something about that's what she said, and my girlfriend talks about it looking smaller in the hand. And
I think that's OcuSync 3 or something, isn't it?
Yes. So I hear. I do have a list of specs to run through in a couple of moments, which will be interesting.
Okay.
But the battery is huge, isn't it? I mean, the battery takes up most of the drone.
Well, the battery. I almost said battery like you did. I'm going to save it. I'll say it correctly. The battery.
I'm converting you.
The battery is aluminum. No, I'm just saying.
Aluminum.
It's not. No, but the battery is a smart battery, just like any other DJI product. And that means that, since the battery is smart, you can be dumb and fly it. And you can, leave it on the charger for 7 days and won't burn down your house. And
no, exactly.
That kind of thing.
I think one of the revolutionary things that people aren't talking about much, because we've only had the FCC ID leak on it so far, which is in one of my news reports from a couple of weeks ago, is the DJI motion controller, of course, which is going to look like something like, this kind of sort of thing where you can actually move the controller and have the drone respond. I think that's going to be an exciting innovation. I think that's going to be very interesting. Although for an old guy like me, that I'm not always steady with my hands, if I twitch, I'm slightly worried that it's going to go twitching off into a tree or something. But I'm hoping the DJI recovery system will save me.
Do we know? Okay, if you can freeze it at that and let it go a little bit so we can see the buttons. That button right there, next to the, I'm gonna point. But you see where the gimbal knob?
Yes.
The button above and to its right, the one that's closest to the antenna. I think that is the one that you hit if you're in trouble. If you're tumbling, you just go, and then you're back into it.
Very cool.
You're stabilized.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering, will Europeans, you lucky Europeans, get the low power version compared to the FCC?
Well, it will be a CE rated drone for certain. We never get the FCC ratings. So yeah, I mean that's something we have to live with. Apart from those people.
What if I bought one here in America and then sent it over the pond to you?
It actually won't. You used to be able to do that, but now it won't turn on.
Really?
Actually, I'm wrong. When the Mavic Air 2 came out, a British YouTuber, iCopter, tried that to get it with the ADS-B, because ours don't have ADS-B because of the COVID shortages, and it wouldn't turn on for him. It wouldn't work. So he did another video saying, don't buy them from overseas. I believe now it's just the same drone, but when you turn it on, it
knows where you are.
Yeah, because my co-host Stephen Sutton of the Flyby Guys, the chap whose snow video you played on TNL, actually, he bought his Mini 2. No, it was the Dubai video you played. Sorry, he bought that Mini 2 in Dubai, and yeah, it basically set it. It knew where it was basically.
See, that's the kind of stuff that I don't like. Yeah, we should be able to outsmart DJI. Those sons of bitches.
You would hope so, wouldn't you?
Yeah. See, and that's again, that's why you should endeavor to, if you are really interested in FPV, this shouldn't be your only quad. That's I'm afraid that camera drone people will get this. They'll be, yeah, that's cool, and then they won't go any further. They'll never fly a real acro. Okay. Well, I mean, that's fine. You do what you want.
That's me. This is going to help me do that. This has come at the perfect timing, because I was so close to getting into the FPV world. I cannot tell you how close I was.
I tell you, I will make it. Wait, am I looking at you? Okay. Sean.
Yes, Ken. Oh.
Yes.
Yes.
Once you wear the goggles and you fly the goggles, there's no coming back.
So don't wear the goggles then, is that what you're saying?
Well, don't yeah, I mean, don't go down that rabbit hole if you're not prepared to see what's at the bottom.
That's the thing, and I am a bit of a rabbit hole person. As anyone that's seen my Star Wars collection of collectibles, of what do you call them? I call them figures, but you call them...
the dolls. You have a doll collection.
The dolls, that's it.
You should sell your dolls, and
I have a doll collection.
Yeah, there's some other knucklehead out there that will buy your dolls, and then you can get. I have. Yeah, it's a crazy collection. Dating. Yeah, sell your dolls. Get into something that's
dating
true
from the 70s.
And meaningful and useful, like
true and meaningful. Hey, I'm into drones now.
Pissed off at me now. Sorry, doll people.
Yeah, since starting this channel and since getting more into drones, I have yet to buy a single doll since then. So my collection hasn't grown, but my collection of drones has, including buying an Inspire recently. So
but you don't even play with your dolls because they're pristine. You can't take them out of the package.
I take everything out of the package.
Oh, okay.
None of that. And I don't play with them. They're in glass cabinets with like cool blue lighting and things. And
I'm out.
well, I'd like to thank Ken Heron for joining us today. It was very kind of him.
It's just weird. Am I still blurry? I think I look blurry.
It's a strange thing, that, isn't it? I think I might need to apply a filter to you next time to enhance your focus. But unfortunately, we didn't have very long to set up, so I'll remember that.
How fast is your internet over there?
It's like 750 down and 150 up.
You have more up than down?
No, 750 down, 150 up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. And these are tri props.
Indeed.
Yep.
Which is exciting.
You know,
What's the benefit? What's the benefit to a tri prop to a quad prop? Is there any benefit in that?
The more props, the more stability, I believe. I have a 5 prop quad.
Yes, I think you asked one of your guests actually on TNL about that.
Yeah, and you know, with the fewer props that you have, the faster you can go.
Okay, that makes sense.
Joshua Barbell made a quad that will go, I'll say 100 miles an hour, since that's as fast as you're legally allowed to go, but it goes 100 miles an hour, and he uses a biprop, just 2.
Oh wow!
On each one, so it can.
But it must be really easy to crash.
No, I mean,
no?
When he flies it, no. When I fly it, yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say when I fly it, 5 seconds.
Yeah. But let me say something that may not have anything to do with this particular quad, but
okay.
I am not a fan of folding propellers, and I'm gonna have a video that demonstrates that will be on my channel soon. I'm gonna prove once and for all that folding props, especially on larger drones, lose energy and are not as efficient.
Oh, that would make total sense. Yeah.
The only reason that they exist are so that these Mavics and everything can fold up in a neat little thing. That's the only reason. There's no other reason. You don't see folding props on a Phantom.
No.
Or an Inspire.
Or an Inspire. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Absolutely ridiculous. And
it is. It's a space. Well, certainly with the camera drones, it's a space thing, isn't it? It's a fold it down as small as possible, and they kind of became obsessed with that a little bit, to the point where they've created a really good product in the Mini too. So, it's
well, like on an Autel Evo 2, a larger quad that has folding props.
That's right.
What is the thing that makes the props stick out? That's a centrifugal or centripetal force.
Mm-hmm.
And that takes more energy, and then
it does.
And if you're doing more acrobatic stuff, if you're flying your Mavic in FPV mode, then you might notice the difference. But it's not going to hurt a Mavic size quad. But the bigger you go, the worse it'll get. Is there a non-folding prop for an Autel available?
I don't know. Autel Fly is in the chat. I know Philip Koshat has one.
Yeah, I flew it out of that.
Have you seen those at all?
Yeah.
What do you think this little green cover thing is here?
Oh, that's probably the gimbal holder.
Okay.
For the camera.
So that's literally just to pop over the front so that it doesn't hurt anything.
Right.
Yeah, that makes sense.
For the camera.
Yeah, that does make sense to me. Okay, well let's have a look at a couple of the actual specs that we're being fed. Is going to happen here. So we're looking at a drone with 795 grams weight, with a 6S, 2000 mAh, 44 watt hour smart battery. Very exciting. OcuSync 3.0, and that's the connection between the goggles and the drone itself, of course. DJI motion controller compatible, which I'm personally quite excited about. See, the motion controller, that might get me wearing the goggles. That's the thing. That might get me a little bit more excited about being able to fly in the future.
Yeah, and look at that. They put acro in quotes.
Well, that's me, actually.
Did you do that? Okay.
Yeah, because I couldn't type acro mode because it actually wasn't in quotes. But I thought it's because it's the DJI acro mode, isn't it? It's not acro mode.
I don't know. I'm curious about that. I'm also curious about obstacle avoidance in FPV mode.
Yes.
Because as you know, right now, you put it in sport mode on another DJI quad, then
yeah.
that obstacle.
Well, that little clip that I played earlier of it showed it sort of coming up to the tree and stopping when it was very sort of obvious.
That was in GPS mode. Surely,
was it?
Right?
I think it said it was in.
Was it?
I think it was. I think it actually does say it's in. Let me have a look here.
There's no way that it can.
Because he starts to do some dip-de-doo stuff.
Dip-de-doos.
Which is why I wonder if this person knows someone with it, so they've seen that it uses this app, and then they created this.
So it says position at the top.
There you go. FPV mode enabled. Be careful.
So did obstacle avoidance kick in, or is
there
he
you go.
just flying it?
Crash prevention stop. It says.
Ah, okay. Well, that's impressive. If I'm sure
if it's real
threshold, I'm sure if you get it going at its full speed, just
nothing's going to stop it, is it? Yeah,
no. And hey,
I just don't know whether that's video real, because I just suspect, as I say, I suspect they're skilled enough to put that together, knowing what the real one looks like.
But I tell you what, if anybody can make obstacle avoidance fail, it's your boy Ken.
Yeah, another reason why DJI haven't sent you one.
Yeah, well, I flew a drone that has 12 cameras on it, 12 obstacle avoiding cameras,
and you found the one wire.
I did. I found that one wire.
One wire that would take it down.
Yeah. Someone's asking about range and flight time and all that.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't put flight time on here because I've on the list that I got said 20 minutes. Other people have said it can be up to 30 minutes depending on how you fly it and the mode.
30 plus minutes.
There you go. Excellent. So I didn't want to put 20 on here because I know that I knew you disagree with it.
Well, it depends on how you're flying it. If you're flying it on FPV mode, you're going to have less, of course. You use more battery, you get less flight time. That just goes without saying.
Yeah. Jasper Ellens, as Jasper Ellens says, the font changes in the video, which is one of the things I noticed as well. And there's a couple of things I don't like about it, but it's a good recreation, I suppose, because as I say, I've shown it to another person who has flown it, and they're like, yeah, that pretty much looks like exactly what I was looking at on. Do
you have the video of it starting? That little 6-second video of it starting?
I do. Let me see if I can bring that in.
Okay, you look for that while I tell you. The first thing I noticed about this thing when it's turned on, it does this. It's got lights on it, like all around the front and back, that kind of do a dance. It's really impressive. Oh, there it is. Can we hear it?
It will be a problem? Playing to the audience, not us, unfortunately.
Oh, okay, that's fine. But when it starts, it's so impressive when it starts. It does this. It sounds like a space alien. And,
there's like people have described it as like a transformer, the sort of the sort of Michael Bay transformery sort of sounds that.
And the person who knew how to fly it when they were flying it, we flew near some people, just some soft targets out there, not directly over them, but near them, and they were looking up. Like I could see kids pointing. Like, what is that? Because at this point in 2021, back in 2014, 15, you flew a drone around, people were like, wow, now people are kind of desensitized to drones. They know what they are. But this thing is another animal. When you see this thing making this noise and the lights and just going, I mean, if you want to freak people out, this is one to get.
No, exactly. Ellis Mean, thank you for finding that link. I've made you a moderator now, so you can actually post links. So feel free to do that in the chat now. Ellis Mean sends me a few bits and pieces, which I always appreciate. So it seems to have quite a wide field of view, which of course you're going to want to have, aren't you? It's 150 here is the quoted, and it has flight modes from beginner to advanced, which I'm personally very excited about, so that I can take my journey without necessarily having to. I'm just so worried about crashing the thing, but I'm worried about crashing my camera.
Am I seeing this correctly? A 2-inch sensor?
No, 1.5 inch sensor.
Oh, there's no space in between.
Yeah, no, it's
okay.
one line. Yeah, 2-inch sensor.
Okay, half-inch. That makes more sense.
Yeah,
the 2-inch sensor. We're like, okay, I'll pay $3,000 for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's my car.
Yeah.
Please give me the drone. And it's maximum onboard recording of 4K 60 frames a second, and 1080p at 120 frames a second. So it's impressive, I think, personally.
Yeah, I'll be very anxious to get this in my hands and get it caught in a tree, because that's what'll happen.
What's your prediction? Do you think you'll fly it a couple of times nicely and then you're just going to go for it? Because you are going to want to try and your FPV drones, there isn't anything that's going to stop you hitting something, so you obviously try not to hit anything. But the fact that this thing is saying to you, can you crash me, Ken?
Well,
can you crash me?
And I don't advise this, but I never use obstacle avoidance ever, unless I'm in a large city. And I learned that the hard way, as many of you know.
Yes.
Glad you don't have that video on standby.
Actually, we do. No,
you don't.
Yeah.
No, you don't.
No, I don't. Copyright strike.
Yeah, I don't like that whole. I hate that with the thing that gets in your screen, the radar image, and it's not recommended. But I've been flying for a long time, and
yes,
again, I've crashed because of it. But
well, I'm happy that I fly without it, actually, because most of the time as well, because having just bought the Inspire 1, an old Inspire 1, just for a bit of I'm doing a couple of funny videos with it, basically. I know it's not the latest tech, but of course it doesn't have any avoidance sensors on it, so I'm glad that I'm used to flying without them, because otherwise I'd be sort of this massive thing in the sky without being able to avoid things. Would
again,
not be fun.
If in case we haven't mentioned in a while, it's the prices that I've been told is $12.99. $1,499.
They usually convert that across. We normally get sort of the same dollar as the same pound, which actually it kind of works out. Yeah, so I think it will be around the same price in the UK, but we haven't got that confirmed here. But the $12.99 is what I'm hearing from most people over there. Now we have something exciting to talk about regarding your normal show, don't we? We have.
Hold on, before we go there, I just want to say that with this quad, I predict that most FPV people won't like it.
Okay.
I will like it because I'm kind of bridging the gap. I'm kind of both,
and you spent a long time, and you're still a camera drone guy, of course. Just because you fly FPV doesn't mean you don't.
Yeah. But if I can tell you that I no longer fly my camera drones for fun. That's a sad thing to say? Maybe
that's very sad. That makes me very sad. Do you think
the fun
maybe the Mavic 3 will pull you back?
Well, the fun for me with any drone is the flying of it. With camera drones, the fun is getting the great footage, which is something, the fun is going to a job and getting the footage that the client wants and then getting paid. That's the fun part for a camera drone for me.
Okay, I can understand
just
that.
For the pure joy of flying, I tell you, flying acro, you see, go back, you can see some of my videos on my channel of me learning, and I'm always open to putting out there me crashing and everything. People will edit around their crashes and then post, trying to make people think that they're better than they are. But the learning curve, even for someone who's been in drones forever, and again, FPV people have told me that GPS stabilized drones have taught me bad habits. If you just took someone that doesn't know anything about drones, give them an acro drone to learn.
Yes.
They learn the acro, then they can, of course, just fly a GPS.
Yeah, well, it's the same as the Air Force prefer to have their pilots to teach from scratch. They don't like actually taking airline pilots. They will, but they don't take, they don't like people that have already been taught how to fly a stabilized aircraft. They want to teach you how to fly their fighter jets their own way from scratch, so you don't have those things embedded into you. So
right, but the purists, I can see the purists, the FPV purists, the ones that have been building and flying for years, they won't like this because it will think for you.
Yes.
It has obstacle avoidance. It has the safety net. And that's not necessarily a good thing if you're used to just going balls to the wall, sending it, and bending it. Bend it and send it. This is more of a send it, try not to bend it thing.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, and Elsmeged's pointing out that the pound for dollar thing isn't that fair normally because, of course, $12.99 is £933, but I know we'll be paying $12.99 for it as well. So it's we won't get a benefit in the dollar exchange, unfortunately.
HJ617 is asking, can it split S? Do you know what a split S is?
the half loop thing, and it comes back on itself.
Yeah, it's kind of the move that you will do before you dive a building. You go towards the building and then let the momentum.
Okay, I love that. And you did that at the hospital, didn't you? You and the chap that flew and you sort of came up and then down into that little gully that's becoming the dive gully.
Yeah, I'm still practicing my split S's. But essentially go towards, and then you go like this, and then you let momentum carry it as you yaw around and face down, and then you just let gravity pull you down. But
you see, that kind of move does hook me in, it has to say, because that even when I watch that move, when I'm on board, when I'm watching someone's video, that does, like when you did it at the hospital and the chap that borrowed your drone did it, that gives me a bit of a buzz, because I just know the feeling of just that thing is just floating itself up there and then it's coming back down again.
And every freestyle pilot has their own style. And I'm sure that my FPV style has been influenced by stabilized drones.
Absolutely.
You know, the way Mr. Steele, if you've ever seen him and Johnny FPV and all these other cats, you know, Nurk, they're just amazing pilots. And these are the kind of people that can do these GP races and go through these hoops and then like stop on a dime and do the twirlies. And to me, I'm not there yet. I don't think I can do it yet, but the kind of flying I like to do is getting in little tight holes, maybe doing a barrel roll and things like, and just dropping down from a large bill. I love that. Oh my God.
But you're having fun with it, aren't you? Which is the most, you found a way of flying FPV, which is fun, which is exhilarating and is challenging you. It's bringing you on each time you're flying. So
yes, I'm sad right now thinking that it's 7 degrees outside and I want to go fly, but there's like a half a foot of snow on the ground.
Yeah. You don't want to go searching for the drone in the snow, basically.
I'll risk it. I'll risk it for the biscuit. I'll tell you what. Risk it for the biscuit, y'all. Come on.
Henry Robotic, thank you very much for the $2 super chat. Really appreciate it. Great show so far, you guys. Oh, there we go. We get a TNL cha-ching noise, which is awesome. In fact, you know what? I actually have an Epidemic Sound chat here, so I'm going to put that in there. So if anybody doesn't have Epidemic Sound, you can follow this link and get it there. They're wonderful, because if it's not Epidemic, it's
crap.
There we go. You responded. That is 35 years of radio host professionalism there. Mm-hmm. Where you knew exactly where I was going, and you keyed it up. Very cool. Very cool.
Now I guess you want to talk about what's coming up. You know, it's gonna be a wacky show, man. Oh, there she is. There's the
I'd like to talk about this a little.
All the guests that I've had on, I'm the most frightened about this one.
Oh, so am I.
Yeah. We got married in 2000. Lasted 2.5 years, got divorced in 2003. Haven't seen her in person or anything. 17 years. And so, yeah, that's Danielle there. Her hair used to be a lot longer.
And we have heard bits and bobs about Danielle over the months and years of TNL, and it sort of dropped in here and there. It almost has become its own sort of folklore almost. So it's going to be very interesting to chat to the lady herself. Because it's
cool.
been.
She is.
Oh,
cool.
yeah.
No, yeah. I'm not going to disparage her. I'm just not gonna.
Yeah.
If you had asked me about Danielle 15 years ago, 10 years ago, sure, I'd throw a few things out, a few jabs. But, you know, I've kept in contact with her over the years, and I'm glad that I did. She's a very interesting person. When we were together, we were different people, and we have grown apart. But she's her person now, and I'm me, and I don't have any regrets in that department. Sure, I miss her. Yeah.
Were you both active social? I mean, obviously, I know you would have been a professional a radio guy and stroke TV guy back then. Was Danielle active on social media, etc.? I mean, there wasn't as much social media, but was she active in that way at all? Because it's interesting that now you're back in touch, etc. Of course, you're both quite active on social media, but both have that online persona.
Yeah, no, and that's really the reason why I'm having her on, because she's starting a podcast and I kind of want to help her.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. And but I can tell you that we stayed in touch. She remarried, and I still talk to her at least once a year, even when she was married. And I'm sure he didn't know about that. But you know, so we're gonna play a game. We're gonna play a game on TNL this Thursday. And I don't know the questions ahead of time, but we're gonna play the ex-spouse game.
Oh.
Oh, it's going to be so fun. The ex-spouse game. Come on down. Prizes. Embarrass Ken. It's going to be fun. So my mom has written questions.
No.
Kelly has written questions. And we're going to see which one of us remembers the most about the other person.
No, your mum, Renee Savakul, she has a which is definitely reflected in who you are as the man that she brought up. She has an edge to her. So it's actually, I think it might be the questions from Renee that we have to worry about more.
Right. Well, when my mom says, she asked me, "Are any questions off the table?" And I was like, "No." They'd probably ask questions that I will refuse to answer. Or
yes.
Will, but I mean, for who does that? Who brings their ex-wife onto a stream? Who does that?
Right. How many red faces are they going to be?
Look at my face already. I'm like,
yeah.
I'm both dreading it and anticipating it.
Yeah, I can see Kelly being sort of his picture will become more and more like this as he hides.
Oh, he's gonna love it. He loves putting the knife in me and twisting it. He loves that. Do you have an ex in your life?
I have an ex over in New Zealand. Hi, Amanda, if you're watching. I know you won't be, but I have a current partner in my life who is very a lovely girl.
Right.
And I actually I have good relationships with all of my exes, which there aren't that many. There aren't that many of them, but yeah, I mean, I'm still good friends, I would say.
Yeah.
Facebook friends, Facebook Messenger, Happy New Year, and happy birthday.
That's really, really good. That's a good thing. You've shared a lot. You got a history with these people, and why just let that go to waste?
Yeah, with that particular young lady, I was with her from I think I was 20 years old up to nearly 30. So it was quite an important part of my life and quite an important part of my career. And so there are things that happened in my life when I was with her that are very special to me. So I try to remember it, have a fond memory of that time.
Would you have her on a stream?
Yes,
you would.
Yes, 100%.
Good for you.
She's hilarious. So yes,
yeah, Danielle.
She would not come in. She is not social media etc. at all. So I doubt she would go anywhere near it. And that's probably more power to her.
Anyway, all right.
But I'm looking forward to it. So yes, so TNL on Thursday, 7 p.m. Central, which is 1 a.m. UK time. I know that a lot of us UK fans of the show stay up to watch it live. I will be watching every single minute of this one. Every single minute, and I'm probably going to replay it a couple of times as well, because there's going to be some good stalker information. I mean, super fan information to glean from that.
She's 10 years younger than me, so when you see her, you'll be like, Ken was married to her. Yeah, I look different when we were married. I was only 34 or something. So
yeah, you had that that star swagger as well, of course.
I did not age.
We've seen the
well.
Ken and Beaner, and you've done okay.
No,
excuse me. Look at this.
Martin says Ken might regret the show. Yeah. Well, I'm locked and loaded now, Martin. So I got
locked and loaded, and we're going in double barrels.
I mean, she might be on for 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Somebody will say something inappropriate in the chat, or my mom will ask a question or something. Oh, hey, thanks for being on. All right, bye-bye, Danielle. See ya.
Yes, TNL will be especially carefully moderated this week for sure.
Oh, Lord. I'm sorry. I gotta get let's move on from this.
Moving back to the FPV drone then. So would you predict this is going to be a big seller? I know there's been a lot of hype. There always is a lot of hype, but
yes.
Yeah, I think it's, I mean, I always look at it from the point of view of how likely I am to want this drone. Moving aside for the moment that it costs over £1,000, so $1,000, and it's a lot of money for people to invest, especially in lockdown and COVID times, etc. So I know there's going to be a lag.
Let me liken it this way. I know we probably have some motorcycle people out there. I'm a motorcycle guy. I've always been a sport bike guy. So if true FPV is a sport bike, and GPS drones are a Harley. Sorry, Harley people. Then this quad would be a BMW. Do you ever see those BMW bikes that are trying to be both like a cruiser?
Which, funnily enough, is actually the only bike I've ever been interested in. Is that BMW crossover bike? Essentially, I do like those.
With the cylinder heads that stick out, like
Yeah,
No,
I know,
thanks.
I know exactly what you mean. And I have friends with bikes that are like, no, that's not a bike. That's a
Right.
car.
I'll just say this. If your motorcycle has cup holders, then it's a car with two wheels. Sorry.
That's a very good description. I like it. I like that a lot.
Yeah. I've seen, those, what do they call those big cruisers? Those, what do they call
Oh, the
them?
gold wings?
Gold wings. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
I've seen them. Motorcycles, one, should not have reverse. Gold wings have reverse. Motorcycles, two, should not have air conditioning or heat. What the hell is that about? Gold wings. Okay, I'm done.
And it's the stereo setup as well on the dashboard of a gold wing. That you got like a multi-stack stereo system and things. It looks cool. I mean, I remember when I was a child, I was like, that's cool.
And I'll just say one more thing, and maybe I'm putting myself out there. Now, trikes, three-wheeled motorcycles, they're cool, they're fine, they're still motorcycles, sure. But those snowmobile looking ones with the two wheels in the front and the one fat wheel in the back.
Yeah.
That is not a motorcycle. That is a snowmobile without the track. Sorry. Have you ever ridden a motorcycle and you do that wave if you're going by somebody?
I have never ridden. I've never ridden a motorcycle.
Okay. I won't wave at those people. They'll be like, "Hey, fellow motorcycle."
Oh yeah, the old nod. Yeah, yeah.
You're not, so you don't get a wave. Sorry. Right. I'm done.
Ellis Mean says reverses your legs. Ha ha.
Yeah,
which is
right.
very true. Yeah, exactly.
Don't
that's
park
exactly it.
Pointing downhill.
Exactly. That's exactly how it should be. Okay, so that is it for this evening. Thank you very much for joining us, Ken. I really do appreciate it.
Well, now hold on. You were going to do your trick.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
What trick am I doing?
You were going to juggle flaming chainsaws, I thought.
Oh, that's right. Hang on. I'll go light them up. You chat to everyone.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Sean is going to start his flaming. Oh, okay. Good.
Ah!
I've never seen him actually do this.
Ah!
Oh.
Oh!
Oh, we're going to have to call. What is it? It's not 911 over there. What is it they call it?
999.
You know what?
Actually, my other half is actually asking. Are you asking if I'm okay? No, it's sound effects. It's yeah. No, I'm not. She just called me a rude word.
Oh dear.
Yeah, you're lucky the microphone didn't pick that up.
999 is actually better.
It is. Do you know it's 000 in Australia?
Is it?
Yeah, I didn't know that until.
I thought 911 would be some. Just 999. Bip, bip, bip. There you go. I'm in trouble. 9. Oh wait, where's the 1?
I was watching Mr. In Between. I don't know if you've seen that. Which is a show. It's kind of like a hitman sort of comedy drama from Australia, and I do like watching a lot of Australian drama actually. And the guy said he's chatting up a paramedic, and he said, "Oh, can I have your number?" And she says, "Yeah," and he starts to write it down. She says 000. And obviously the joke went straight over my head, so I had to Google what is 00. Oh, it's 999 in Australia. Okay, that's
and then you
funny.
did laugh.
And then, yeah, actually, I thought that was quite funny. It's a very dark. Anyone that's watched that show knows it's pretty dark. So,
cool,
excellent. Well, thank you very much for joining us. I really, really do appreciate it, especially someone that's actually flown the drone and been able to tell us a little bit more information in the background there. Everyone, remember Thursday, tune into TNL and all of the other wonderful stuff. I'm putting Ken Heron's link in my chat. Like anyone that watches my channel doesn't have you subscribed, but if you do. If you don't, please do subscribe because it's Ken's fault that I'm a YouTuber, frankly.
Excellent.
And you can go there and comment and complain about the fact that Geeksvana exists, frankly.
All right. So, well, hey, thanks for being on the show.
We hope you enjoyed the show half as much as you.
Yeah, you know how that goes.
Yeah. And then I have to leave though and say, oh, hang on, it's my show.
Right. Okay.
Well, as I say, thank you very much. And bye.
I've never
talking.